What's going on, people? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I just wanted to say this is going to be my last video of 2021. It's now 29th of December 2021. We're going to come up to New Year's, and I'm going to take a little bit of a break from sort of now until maybe next week. So I wanted to get this video out to you guys, just give you a bit more information, break down a nice little trade that was taken about a week ago now. Let's see, 22nd of December. So this is my last Instagram post was all about this trade. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, yeah, give me a follow. I post some really valuable content on Instagram, and you will be able to see, you know, quite a lot of this YouTube stuff in kind of digital YouTube form over on Instagram, right? So basically what we're going to look at is breaking down the narrative, understanding where the bias is coming from, why are we looking to go X, Y, and Z, why are we looking to go short, why are we looking to go long, and how we're actually looking to get into the trade. I know quite a lot of you guys have been waiting for this, so I thought, you know, starting off good for, you know, the end of the year, getting into the new year, I thought I'd drop some real source, some information for you guys. Okay, so starting off, building the narrative, right? We need to understand what is happening on the higher time frames, because we all understand the higher time frames drive the lower time frames. Okay, so very simply, we're making lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Okay, daily time frame, we are bearish. Okay, so what I would then do, move down to the 4-hour time frame. Same again in here. What could we see, right? So we have a lower high and then we have a lower low. Okay, right here. Now this high here, right here, basically it takes out this high, okay, and then it runs straight back to the downside, and it actually breaks some 15-minute structure right here. Okay, so with a liquidity sweep, I personally look at that and I say, okay, well, there was probably liquidity resting up here. There was old orders left in this POI, and prices swept up into this area to then take out any sellers that were in the market from here, right? They were expecting price to continue down like this. Obviously, that didn't happen. They've got taken out, and then anyone with sort of who's a breakout trader is looking to buy once this level breaks, they were then instantly kind of shut down. They were taken straight out of the market with no sort of second look, you know. So this sweep here, I see this as it's a liquidity sweep. It runs to the upside and then runs straight back to the downside, closing below. Okay, so we can understand that the 4-hour is also bearish. Okay, next thing I'm going to be doing, getting down onto the 15-minute time frame, right? Inside of here, what we can do is we can actually mark this off as a 15-minute POI. Okay, so here we have a 15-minute POI, right? So here we have an up close candle before this push to the downside, which doesn't actually break too much structure, but what it doesn't do here is this area doesn't break any significant highs. Same again, this sweeps liquidity. Okay, it pushes up, then pushes straight back down again. So this is an indication that we want to push bearish. Now, as you can see here, we made a lower low, then we made another lower low, and then we made another lower low. Okay, so we're pushing to the downside, but then we're also sweeping highs as well. That's purely because we're inside of the range. That's kind of what happens inside of the range, or inside of a range. Okay. So from here, we are obviously anticipating lower prices. So simply what we're going to do is we're going to wait for a price to come back up into our POI. Okay, this is our nice POI. Here we have a little tap into the 15-minute POI. And then what we're doing is we're simply looking for a change in direction. Okay, so this high here gets put in and then it takes out a low. Okay, but then what we do is we push higher. Okay, so we then push higher from this high, okay, which is then indicating that potentially we are going to push straight through. But then what we can wait for is if this low gets broken, then we can look for a potential trade to short, because then we know that this POI up here could potentially hold. okay? So the first thing that I was doing from this area here is understanding that on the 15-minute time frame, what we're now doing is we are potentially shifting into a bearish market on the 15-minute time frame. So on the daily time frame and on the 4-hour time frame, we understand price is bearish. Now on the 15-minute time frame, we're getting the first sign that price is shifting bearish, okay? So what's the next thing we can do? Well, as you can see here, we have a relatively straight leg that pushes pretty much straight to the downside, right? We have a couple of up close candles in here, but no real pullbacks, okay? We have a few swing highs that have been made, and we can look at this as, you know, we can pull the premium versus discount up to this level here. That's absolutely fine. This is like the beginning of the leg, and this is the end of the leg, okay? So this is just a Fibonacci. If you just go over here, this is just delineating the 50% line, the premium area, and the discounted area, okay? What I'll do is I'll quickly just pull this up. You can take a screenshot of this if you like. That's pretty much my settings for the Fibonacci. It's quite nice. The background is quite low, and it's, yeah, it just doesn't kind of stick out too much, so it's sweet. Okay, so once we have the change in direction, we have the push to the upside, and then we have the push to the downside, okay? This gives us a nice straight leg that pushes pretty much straight to the downside on the 15-minute time frame, okay? Now what we can do is we can start dropping down into lower time frames and saying, okay, well, where is a POI inside of this premium, right? Because we're anticipating price to continue bearish. So now we need to look at the premium, right? So we could initially look at this one here, okay? And we can say, okay, well, the premium is up here, so maybe we can use that, mark that off, and then refine it. Now, I'm not gonna bugger about here, right? We can see that price has pushed up higher than that, okay? But what I'm now going to show you is this is actually what you're waiting for. So you don't have to trade directly from this POI. Now what you can do is you can drop down onto a lower time frame, and you can say, okay, well, is there any POIs inside of the premium which potentially could be tagged, okay? Now here we have a very nice up close candle before this push to the downside, which does break structure right here, okay? This line is where the structure is broken, okay? So we pull back up, and now what we can start doing is, because we have the 15-minute change in direction, okay, so we've pushed to the upside and then we've pushed to the downside, breaking sell side liquidity, and then we're starting to pull back up, okay? So we can now drop down to the 1-minute time frame, and then what we can do is, remember we were looking at this POI potentially in here, okay? Well, what you can do is you can draw it out, and then you can go, okay, well, is price going to hold on to this area? Are we going to get another change in direction, or is it just going to blow straight through it? Well, as you can see, boom, we blow straight through it. As soon as that happens, then you can go, okay, well, maybe there's a higher POI, and then you can potentially identify this one on the 5-minute time frame, okay? So here we have a high and then a low. We take out the high, and then we consolidate through this area here, push up a little bit further. This takes out this liquidity here, and then we get the break of structure, which confirms the change in direction, okay? So what we now have is a 4-hour and a daily bearish order flow, okay? 15-minute time frame, we have a change in direction, okay? So we are shifting and we are aligning with the higher time frames, and now we're on the 1-minute time frame, and what are we doing? We're looking for exactly the same thing, okay? So here we have an up close candle, or this is actually the up close candle, but you know, you can pick whichever one you want. I've refined it down to the seconds just for a more specific entry, and we can look into that also. So up close candle before this push to the downside, which swept liquidity and then broke structure to the downside, okay? Perfect. So everything is all lining up, everything is all making sense. We have a POI which has done the two things that we're looking for. We also have the lower time frames which are aligning with the higher time frames. And now all we need to do is just wait, okay? We can be confident in this area because this is a high probability POI because of what has actually happened, okay? Reading what has actually happened. Then all we can do is, let's just do it like this for instance. Okay, this is our POI, up close candle before this push to the downside. I'm also including the high of this wick just in case price wants to reach up into that area. Okay, so I'm actually just gonna show you a little bit of information on the seconds time frame now. So if we go to the 30-second, as we can see, this is the up close candle before this push to the downside. Okay, just a slight refinement, and this pretty much just swept above there. Okay, the 50% is roughly where this kind of sweep is. Okay, so now using my refinement method, what you can do is you can use this up close candle and you can drop down one more time frame. Okay, and then inside of here we have the last body candle, the highest close, the highest open inside of this POI. Okay, then we have the refinement. Okay, and then what we see is, if I just drag this over here, you can see the refinement is this RF, and now what we have is a pierce through this level and then an instant drop to the downside. All we need to be doing is targeting this previous low, and as you can see, this is a very nice 19 to 1. Okay, and that took a total of nearly 40 minutes. So 40 minutes and you've got 20 R, you can be done for the whole month. Okay, now all you're really waiting to do is wait for the higher time frames to see what the direction is, then getting on the 4 hour, waiting for that direction to align with the daily time frame, then moving down to the 15-minute time frame, and then what you can do is start, marking off. You aren't going to always be using the premium versus discount. You can always use it just to give you a very nice area in which price could come back to, but I like to personally use them when there has been a straight leg. Okay, if there's been a price leg and it's kind of gone like this, pushing down like that, I don't really like to use premium versus discount. You can use it, absolutely, but for me personally, I think it's a lot more probable if you just have a nice straight leg to the downside, typically on the 15-minute time frame, and then you can move down and find a really nice trade. Okay, so same again, change in direction on the 1-minute time frame after the change in direction on the 15-minute time frame. And if you've heard the saying of you don't have to be the first person in the trade, right? A lot of people may have even taken the trade from here. Okay, they might have identified this POI and they might be like, okay, I want to take a risk entry. For me, I haven't got time for risk entries anymore. I'm just looking for purely confirmation entries. So this is my confirmation, right? This is showing me that, okay, this POI has reacted right here, and then we have had a change in direction. So now I have my lower time frames aligning with the higher time frames, and now I can pick off my entry. Boom, sorted. And then I'm done in 40 minutes. Okay, this happens outside of London session, also outside of New York session, so it is slightly it's not inside of the sessions, but I had the POI marked off with an alert, and that's pretty much what I waited for. Okay, so I hope this all helps you guys out, and I hope you have an amazing New Year's, and I will catch you guys all in 2022. Take care, I'll catch you soon.